Good morning, everybody, and welcome to OptionPick.com, your home for options education and trading. I guess you could call us the house of volatility, or maybe just trying to look at volatility, because that's what we spend most of our time doing. Here's a blog from Mark, a trade idea of the week that goes out. What's weird is, like I'd say Monday, Friday, about midday, there was sort of some good feelings, and it's sort of just kind of bleeding away. I'm going to just take a look at bank stocks here. It's a I thought we had a little bit better sentiment going, and it's just not. The market starting to feel very blasé. Okay, very blasé. So we have decent bank earnings. JPM actually was up substantially on their earnings, and it kind of just frittered away. I think, and once again, the Fed does their thing, and since they are so hopelessly confused on what policy they're trying to move forward with, the equity markets are holding that same. There is no conviction one way or the other. So ultimately, what that means is volatility is a little juicier. I think iron condors and flies, things like that around the money, are going to be better type trades in the indexes right now. Oil seems to be holding up. We've looked at trades in the oil stocks. Banks seem to be holding up, mostly, maybe just selling put spreads and stuff. But I think the big story is more, I don't even know if it's a story yet. We have had, actually, this is the first time in a while where VIX is held above 16, and there really hasn't been a lot of realized vol to make that happen. If you look at it, you have the November contract is 17 and a quarter, which is pretty rosy. We're going to look at some trades in our chat room today. I think there's some great VIXs in one of those positions. Again, if you're only Option Pit member, chat room member, where it's setting up for a great trading opportunity. It doesn't do it as often as I like, but usually it does. So we'll look at one of those in the chat room today. But you've got higher numbers for the cash VIX. If you would have told me last week after the FOMC meeting, I would have thought we'd be back to 14, and we're not. Okay, so you also have to take a look at where volatility is, and you can't ignore it. I think actually we had some people were looking at time spreads in the indexes. I don't think they are a terrible idea right now. Mostly, all you have to do is look at where the volatility is, right? The November 9th weekly is 15 vol. So, and we had ideas for time spreads and things like that in here. We looked at them last week. I'm even looking at NOV-OC. I believe there's also so there is some, I would say, some opportunities setting up in volatility. Mostly because when volatility is really low, it just kind of sits and hangs out there and doesn't do anything. When volatility is a little higher, it gives us more opportunity to move. So there is not a lot of, I would say, broad market conviction one way or the other. We're kind of stuck here. We didn't break through highs. There's no QE reason for for more highs, and I don't know how long it's going to take equities to change gears, essentially. So what you have is a market kind of going sideways, and clearly now with VIX grabbing election volatility a month out, it's just that lower VIX number is really not going to go anywhere. I think it's going to be tougher to get lower. And the volatility products, again, we'll discuss those in the chat room when we do our vol forecast for the week. But it's going to be hard to grab more than just a K out of the vol products for any kind of sort of downward And we could just kind of stay hung like this for quite a while. And let me remind you, 30-day realized vol is 12%. 10-day realized vol is 8%. Okay, so those were what we were looking at in our chat room as, as potential gravitational forces pulling things down. And right now, I was kind of unsure, even early into last week, if the election was going to matter that much. And clearly now, I think just watching where the vol's priced it is. Plus, the November will be the sensitive future for vol. So remember, VIX is looking 30 days ahead. It's not looking at what's happening this week. So that has implications for everything settling from now until November. You could get higher settlements everywhere along the line while we're trying to hold while VIX is holding all of this post-election volatility. Again, I wasn't quite sure about that if the election really mattered, because it looks like now, one candidate is pulling so far ahead of the other one, but the market is still saying some volatility, so maybe what's going on in the polls might not. There still could be some, let's just call it, there still could be some volatility. And I think that's what we have. So, but you have a higher vol, but not necessarily movement. Those are certain kinds of trades to me, so that's the kind of stuff we'll be looking at in our chat room this week. And with that, I will see all of you, or many of you, especially our Option Pit subscribers, in our chat room shortly. All right, guys. Oh, I almost forgot. I believe soon. Is it on our event page yet? Not quite yet. We are going to be starting our boot camp. Again, boot camp free for all Option Pit members. I know it's gold and above. I think Option Pit Live members can attend. I'm 90% sure. So if you have questions about that, send me a note at andrew@optionpit.com. And with that, I will see you all later.